Құрметті көрермендер, біз бүгін басқа Каспий деңгейінің 25 минут төмен ғылыми подкастымызды бастаймыз. Our guest today, Associate Professor Yasin Kanbur, Karabuk University. Атырауға қош келдіңіз.
Қош болдық.
And we would like to speak today about the polymers which closer to nature, which the sustainable for the ecological purposes, for the biocompatibility with surrounding with environments. And that's what the topic very interesting because we know now the problem of carbon chain polymers which are not degradable and pollute our environment, and probably this topic very important to live in sustainable world with our nature. So my first question to you, Professor, what is the focus of biocomposites? What the advantage and disadvantage?
As you said, the environmental pollution is the big problem in these days, and that's why this topic is very popular. And firstly, I want to start with what is biocomposites, and in a composite we have two main parts, and the first is the polymeric matrix parts and also filler parts. Second part is the filler part, and to get a biocomposite material, at least one of these parts should be natural, bio-based.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem to get a biocomposite material is the surface biocompatibility between the polymer matrix and the filler. Sometimes we apply some surface modification to our materials, our fillers, to get better surface compatibility, because the nature of the polymers surface are hydrophobic, but the surface of the fillers are hydrophilic. And to make the surface of the hydrophobic surface of the filler, we apply some surface modification to it, and we get hydrophobic surfaces to get better surface compatibility. And at the end of these better surface properties, you can this resulting with the better mechanical, thermal, and surface property, and it will provide better mixing inside your composite materials. And if you continue with the advantages of the biocomposites, firstly, they are biodegradable. This is the most important issue, and because of these environmental problems, we need to use these biodegradable materials.
Sure, they from nature.
Yes.
That's why they're compatible to nature. Yeah.
And also, usage of this kind of materials, like some fillers, natural fillers, provide cheap production and also lightweight. And lightweight is another important issue, because during the transportation you will save energy, and this is another important aspect. And also, demand for the petroleum products will decrease, and you won't pay extra energy to produce petroleum products. And it will decrease the carbon footprint, and also this is another advantage of this usage of these biocomposite materials.
Okay, thank you very much. What kind of the materials usually used for the biocomposites, and what kind of what different types?
And by we said that in a biocomposite we have two main parts, and matrix and the filler parts. And we can use natural fibers as a filler, reinforcing filler. And
like cellulose based.
and yes, you can use wood floor, kenaf, hemp fiber, and flax fiber, jute fiber, sisal, bamboo, and these are natural fibers to get reinforcing properties in bio-based materials. And beside this, you can use some you can use some agricultural waste materials like date palm seed, for example, hazelnut shell, and like this, and also some seafood waste like mussel shell. Also natural from cow bone powder and another mineralic structure from the nature. And they are all waste products. And as a matrix, if you talk in terms of matrix, we can use different candidates. We said you can use bio-based polyesters derived from the renewable source, and you can use them. Also, sometimes we can use epoxy resins. Although they are not biodegradable, we can use them to get durable and to get durability and enhance performance of the material. Also, we can use natural resins from the soybean oil and rinsed oil, linseed oil, linseed oil-based resins. And also, we can use some biodegradable polymers like polylactic acid, polyhydroxyalkanase, and polybutylene succinase. These are another examples we can use in our biomaterials. And these materials is important because they binds these filler materials together, and they transfer this matrix material the applied stress to filler surface to get better mechanical properties. And the stress transfer provided by this matrix material, and that's why this surface compatibility is very important.
And matrix materials is not necessary to be biodegradable. It could be classical polymer.
Yeah, you can use traditional engineering polymers, for example, polyethylene, polypropylene, thermoplastic polyurethane. But you should add, if you use these materials.
Key point is matrix, fillers. So fillers should be biocarbon.
Also, matrix is important because we can use bio-based polymer materials. But if you use these traditional engineering polymers, you have to select bio-based filler materials like bamboo fiber, jute fiber, or wood floor and other things to get better biodegradability.
You're talking about biodegradation. Yeah. What type of mechanism, what kind of biodegradation happened? What is it?
Biodegradation is an important subject because during the biodegradation, microorganisms broken down the organic substance into simpler non-toxic species. And there are a lot of different kinds of the biodegradation, but I will tell a few of them. One is the aerobic biodegradation. And this aerobic biodegradation occurs in the presence of the oxygen, and microorganisms break down your material into simpler substance like carbon dioxide, water, and biomass. And another type of the biodegradation is the anaerobic biodegradation. And this biodegradation occurs in the absence of the oxygen. And after this process, you get
underground. Maybe,
after this process, you get methane, carbon dioxide, and other byproducts. And biogas production is an example for this. And also, lytic biodegradation, and in this type of biodegradation you can use enzymes to provide biodegradation. And an example for this is breakdown of the cellulose by fungi.
But it could be natural enzymes.
Yeah, sure. From
which
soil
could
and
decompose.
water.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
also, we should talk about the factors affecting the biodegradation. And biodegradation affected by the environmental conditions like temperature, humidity, and oxygen level, pH, and beside this, microbial activity. And because number of the microorganism population is
Important.
population is an important subject to affect the speed of the biodegradation, and also nature of the material is important. It is engineered materials or natural materials, and it depends on the nature of the materials also.
Okay, in your research paper, I saw very interesting materials you use as a fillers. For example, like olive pulp or the black cumin seeds. So tell about this. What is interesting stuff? Yeah.
In our research, we try to natural waste manage material to produce biodegradable materials. As it was,
Olive pulp is just waste product making olive oil. Yeah.
Yes, sure. After the olive oil, we get the waste part, and we use in our composite materials. And as you told, we used olive pulp and black cumin in our composites as filler. Addition of this kind of material sometimes decreases the mechanical properties a little bit, but to get optimized values, we apply some surface modification to them. But addition of this kind of materials provides our composites better biodegradable properties. Besides this, we can get cheap material and light material and by low carbon footprint materials.
Very interesting. Another interesting materials I saw in your paper, like powder of cow bones, or for example, a shell of mussels. Tell about this typical property.
Yeah, we use it. This kind of materials in our studies to get better mechanical properties, thermal properties, and tribological properties. Because of their layered structures, they provide better wear properties, and also they are rich in calcium phosphate and calcium carbonate. We get better mechanical properties, and also thermal degradation of the material shifts a little bit higher values by the usage of this kind of materials. And in this also in some application, usage of this kind of materials provide bioactivity to these materials. And in our experiments, we mimic the natural bone structures in terms of mechanical strength, bioactivity, and also porosity and layer structures.
Okay, so it could replace some natural bones, yeah, used as implant materials.
Yeah, for the in vivo applications as implant materials, it is a starting point.
Okay, you talk about the mimicking materials, yeah? This biomimicking research, very interesting and quite new scientific direction to make the product which imitate the natural behavior. like biomimicking.
Yeah.
What is that, and what do you think how this direction very useful for in the future?
Yes, in these days, this concept is very popular, and scientists emulate the natural systems to produce the replicate the behavior of natural materials. And if we give some example for this, self-healing polymers are an example for this, because after the crack or the
Like our skin.
yes, like our skin, after the crack or the scratch, self-healing materials release it from the system and it repair itself. And another
Integrity.
yes, sure, like human skin. And another example is the lotus effect polymers. And lotus leaves has an spare leaves have lotus leaves have super hydrophobic properties due to their micro and nanostructures, and they repel water and the dirt.
That's why they are
Yeah.
floating.
And then scientists mimic these properties to get polymeric materials that resist water, strains, and the microbes. And another important example for the mimicking materials is the gecko leaves additives, because geckos
Gecko, yeah.
geckos have
My younger son like this
yeah.
animal. It's popular in some cartoons, kids cartoons.
Gecko feet has millions of hairs that provide strong van der Waals forcing between the surface, and that's why it provides good adhesivity. And scientists mimic this property to get super perfect adhesive property polymers. And another example is the spider silk polymers. And we know that spider silk has perfect tensile strength and elasticity. And in these days,
One of the strongest.
yeah, scientists produce polymers. It is replicate of the molecular structure of the spider silk to get high flexibility and strength. And these kind of materials can be used in advanced wound care, implant materials, drug delivery systems. Also in packaging industry, you can use this kind of materials to get extended shelf life, moisture resistance, antimicrobial surface, and the healing solutions. Also easy to remove adhesive properties.
Yeah, very interesting. If we speak about the research science, that is very fascinating. But if we're going to the industry to scaling up production of such materials, they always come the cost effectiveness. Yeah, because the carbon chain polymer are very cheap. They produced million tons, but the biocompatible polymer they more expensive. Do they make some advantage on the market comparing with the competitive cost?
I think that next years these materials will be widespread, because new easy and cheap productions techniques will be found by the scientists, and we will see the effect of these in the price of this kind of materials.
Oh, thank you. So, and my last question, this is a traditional question for all guests. So you can just imagine yourself looking ahead, like in 5 years. What do you think? What is the future of such biocompatible, biomimicking materials? So, floor is yours.
I think that in the next years we will see these biodegradable materials commonly in our lives, especially on packaging industry. Nearly half of this kind of materials used in packaging industry, and you will see them more because it provides cheap and light materials, and also they are biodegradable because the environmental problems coming from these waste plastic materials in sea and landfill. And also this kind of materials will be commonly used in medical applications also. I think it will be common for us in the future.
Thank you very much. We wish you success in your research in this very fascinating direction. Thank you very much, Yasin Bey, for coming. Teşekkür ederim.
Ben teşekkür ederim.
Yeah.
I am glad to be here in our brother country, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, we hope for further collaboration. Sure.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Құрметті көрермендер, басқа эфир біз келесі апта өткіземіз.